Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios, it's time for Women in Motion. Brought to you by WBEC West. Join forces, succeed together. Now, here's your host.
Lee Kantor here, another episode of Women in Motion, and this is going to be a good one. But before we get started, it's important to recognize our sponsor, Webeck West. Without them, we couldn't be sharing these important stories. This month on Women in Motion, we are highlighting women in construction, and so excited to be talking to my next guest, Suni Miller with Timberline Enterprises. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, before we get too far into things, tell us about Timberline. How you serving folks?
So I am a excavation concrete contractor, and I do all things dirt, rocks, and structural concrete.
So can you share a little bit about your journey? How did you get here?
Sure. So I started in construction, in the trades, I would say, with my dad. He was a landscape contractor, and I worked for him, and we do snow removal in the Lake Tahoe area. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but I started out with him doing landscaping and snow removal. And I was into it, but I thought, I think I'm going to take a break from this, try something different. I got into the accounting field for about 15 years, and then I figured out that living in a cubicle is not for me. I need to be back outside. And so my dad had retired and shut the company down. I decided to go ahead and start the company back up again, but this time with an emphasis in concrete and excavation. We had done that before as well. We were just heavier on the landscape side. I now do no landscaping, and I just focused on concrete and excavation.
So what led you to that? Was there something you were seeing in the marketplace or what?
No, not. I think it was more of just what I'm into. I really like it. I love being the first on the job. You're kind of building the base for the cake. As I tell people, the dirt work, the structural work is everything that we're doing so that somebody can have a house, building. We're first ones in, and when we were still doing landscaping, we're the last ones out. So we kind of put the base of the cake, and then we put the icing on the cake. And I think I just really like structural work. I'm fascinated with, all things structural and the engineering process of it. And I just really enjoy being in the heavy equipment and shaping dirt and rocks. And I know it sounds probably kind of crazy, but it's just what I'm into.
So you got a chance to kind of do some of that when you were younger, and then you took the accounting break, and then you realized that was really what you liked?
Yeah, I did. Just the cubicle life wasn't for me, but I think that everything happens for a reason, because being in the accounting industry in between, when I took that break, it built a solid foundation for me. I learned so much about running a business, and, I learned how to balance books and to do my own accounting. And I think it gives you a better basis, kind of a structural basis also for the business side of the business. So, there's nothing that I control in my business that I am not, like, I'm not just handing my books over to somebody. I understand it. And I, when I go to bid, I understand what I'm doing. I worked in programs for government auditing and things like that. And it's just really helped me out as far as, I know both sides of my business really well, and I'm really comfortable running and operating my business.
Right. I would imagine at this point, that's almost kind of a competitive advantage.
I think so. A lot of the contractors, the general contractors and things that I work with, everybody's got a bookkeeper, everybody's got somebody's doing that, that it's a third party. But, I kind of do my own. I do get help. I have an accountant and things like that. But when my accountant needs to sit down and discuss with me, like, okay, this is a plan for next year. This is where you need to be. This is what you need to do. I get it. And I have a good understanding of where I want to go with this business and how to get there because I have a little bit of that background.
Now, do you have any advice for women out there that maybe are in a job, like an accounting type job, and they are thinking about making the leap into one of these male dominated businesses like you're in? Is there any kind of do's and don'ts or any kind of steps you recommend them taking in order to have the best chance of success?
Yeah, I would say that be involved. If you're going to start a business and you're in the accounting field now, you should have a good understanding of what it's going to take. I think that a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to go out and start a business, and they forget about all of the things that go in the background to run a business. And when you're in the business of administration and accounting and things like that, what it takes to run a business from the backside. And, for an example, there's in our town recently, one of the local GCs didn't realize for an entire year that he was being ripped off for $86,000 worth of services that he was getting overbilled. It took him a year to figure that out. If you're in the accounting field, you're watching your books, you're watching your numbers all the time. And I think that really gives you some strength.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people, like, they're not familiar with it or they don't fully understand it, so they're just kind of nodding their head when someone's talking about it, but they really don't understand kind of the nuances of the numbers and where there's opportunity and where we got to pay attention. And if you don't really understand that, it's hard to run a successful business.
Right, because you wouldn't know if somebody's just telling you, like, this is what you need to do and this is how you need to do it. You don't know if they're telling you right, wrong, or indifferent. You're just going through the motions. And there's a lot of room for error in it. And when you're a small business or you just starting out, you don't have, there's no room for error like that because it could take you down really, really fast. It's helped me in my bidding process. It's helped me to know when other companies, if I have subs coming under me, what their numbers are supposed to look like and if they're trying to get over on me. I just think it's been really beneficial to be both hands-on on the ground doing the work, but also to have knowledge on the background of my business as well.
Now, when you took the leap back in and then kind of leaned into the dirt side of the business, as you say, did you get any kind of successes pretty quickly, or was it a struggle? Like, how was that initial growth when you decided to kind of, change, take on this new chapter?
So I don't know how candid I could be on this podcast. It was a struggle. And I think being, kind of the odd man out or the odd woman out in the construction field, I think I might be the only licensed concrete contractor who actually works out in the field in Northern Nevada. So I am definitely one of, a few, if not the only in the concrete side. And the struggle for me, a lot of times in the beginning, well, even still now, I'll go on bid walks or job walks or meet clients, and they automatically assume I'm the bookkeeper, I'm the secretary, I'm the administrative assistant. What role do you play? Is the contractor going to show up? Are you taking notes for the contractor? No, I am the contractor, and that's been a really interesting process in itself. Just to not be taken seriously in the beginning. Now I have a name around here. People know who I am. And I'm doing a lot more work with government agencies and things like that. And they've been fully supportive. But I still get that a lot. they just don't take you seriously until they see you out there doing the work, or you get referred by somebody else. Working with GCs, that's been really, really interesting as well. I'll go to meet a GC about a job, and they're looking around for the guy to show up, and here I am, 5'2", obviously female. And they're, I work with a GC a lot right now who was really cool about it. I step out of my truck and he says, well, this is different. And I said, because I'm a female? And he said, yeah. In all of my years, I have never met another female contractor. And he comes from Southern California, where, it's hot and heavy down there. And he said, well, this is actually pretty rad. I'm excited to work with you. And we've been working together ever since. So there's those types of struggles, some of the old chauvinist things have come up where, I have been offered some interesting things in exchange for contracts. And that's, for me, that fuels my fire. It makes me go, oh yeah, watch this. And my first contract that I had, it was a USDA and RCS contract where the USDA they contract with a landowner. So we do some agriculture work out here. It's a big agriculture community. And the husband in the situation just flat out said he didn't think I was capable because I was a woman. And there were some issues between himself and the wife. He ended up making some advances towards me in exchange for the contract. Long story short, they're divorced. I got the contract. I finished the contract. And I've done 27 contracts since then for the USDA and RCS. So there's struggles for sure. But for me to accomplish that, to get through it, not let it bother me, make it a challenge, successfully finish the project, and to be where I am now, I would say was worth the struggle. The success is worth the struggle on that.
Right. There's a book I read a while ago that's called The Obstacle is the Way. So that obstacles are there not to kind of derail you, but they're just part of the journey. And I'm sorry you had to go through what you went through. But in any, great achievement, I think you have to deal with things that aren't fun and they're difficult and they test you. I mean, and you've come out on top. It sounds like you really have a lot of momentum and you really made a big impact in the industry. So kudos to you.
Thank you. I think you just have to have tough skin, and you have to know that, like, it takes a certain personality to be a contractor anyway in construction, right? Because it consumes your life, and it's hard to be a contractor. The challenges with, people and corporations, and it's a lot to take on. So you have to be that strong personality to be able to handle that. And there are so many women out there that are so capable, but might just doubt themselves a little bit. And I think that if you keep that in mind, that no, this is part of the reality of the business, right? But this is where I'm trying to get, and you let those struggles become your fuel, there's no losing, because nobody's going to push you out. I mean, you're just going to keep going and going and going. And that's where I am. And I've had personal challenges in the last few years. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and, I just kept working through that, through treatments and all of that. And I'm still upright, and I don't have breast cancer now, but I still am on, treatments, and you just have to keep going. But at the same time, you have to give yourself some grace and not forget to take care of yourself in the process. it's a lot to be a contractor. It really is, but it's totally doable.
And you're juggling so many things between, your work life, your personal life. It's really a testament to your strength to be able to persevere this way. I mean, it's just really an amazing success story.
Thank you. I really think that I hope that I could put myself out there to show other women that, like, yeah, we're moms. We're at home taking care of families, our children. Sometimes I have a child. We still do all of those things and run a business on top of it. It's 100% doable. When I was younger, I tell people all the time, when I was younger, yeah, I saw my dad out working. My dad was a logger when I was little. So I've always been around the trades, but never once did I think, oh, I could do that. And I think that that's part of I wish there were more
examples of
that.
Right.
Yeah. For girls in high school, girls in middle school, nobody ever told me when I was in high school, hey, have you ever thought about going into the trades? Have you ever thought about being a contractor? Have you ever, it was never, those options were never put out there. It wasn't until I realized working for my dad, like, hey, I can do this.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Not only can I do it, I am actually doing it. So
I am doing it.
Right.
As a matter of fact, Dad, I'm going to take over your business. So.
Exactly.
So go ahead and go back to retirement. And I have two brothers, and people that also blows people away that I have two brothers and I'm the contractor.
And you're the one who stepped up.
After my dad. Yeah. And one of my brothers works for me, and one of my brothers has his own company in California. But, I wish that it was out there more for younger women to say, like, you can do this. I mean, I've kind of got a network of women that I work with, and I'm trying to help inspire other women and mentor them through the process of getting licensed and becoming their own contractors. And you don't have to be the secretary. You don't have to be the bookkeeper. Like, if you want to do this is the roadmap to get there. I had to figure that part out by myself, but I love sharing that, not only with women, but I've helped other young men get licensed and things like that, and shown them how to get there. And it's not, it's not easy, but it's not impossible.
Right. Well, you're a testament to that, and you're an example for all these people. You're that person now that you wish you had, that's out there in the industry battling and grinding. You've excavated that territory. You're the one who's doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I love what I do, and I would be a liar if I said that it's easy, because it's not easy. But it's well worth the amount of work that you have to put into it to just be able to say, like, I can do this. The old cliche of you can do anything you put your mind to. It's not a cliche. It's true. And it almost created a problem for me, because once I started getting licenses and things like that, I just got my California pipeline license, and I'm working on my California concrete license. Once I figured out that that's true, anything that I want to do, I can do it. And I am doing it. And I've been able to do every single thing that I've put my mind to thus far. So it created this kind of, because it's my personality as well. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I want to go do this. I can do this. I'm going to go get this license, this license, this license. And I was going to go get my demolition license. And my insurance company was like, whoa, hold on, slow down. You're going to need to make a lot of money to pay for all this insurance. Because you want to do so many different things. And so I'm learning how to rein that in and say, okay, well, there's a guy in my company who would really like to start a demolition company. I can help him through the process, and we can team up together, instead of taking it all on myself. But you really can do anything that you put your mind to. I tell my son that, like, if I decided I wanted to be a pilot, I'll go figure out how to be a pilot.
Yeah. And that's the thing is once you have those wins and successes, it gives you the confidence to just keep pushing harder and going higher.
Correct. Yeah. And you're just like, wow, there's a big world out there that you think that you have to fit in this box as a female. You have to just do these things. I have to be just a nurse, or I have to be a secretary, or I have to be an administrative assistant. No, you can do anything. You can do anything that anybody else can. There's a pathway to get there, and there's usually somebody that will help you get there. And that's been the inspiration that's kept me going is that, like, oh, okay, I want to do this. I'll figure out how to do this, and I'll do it.
Now, can you share a little bit about why it was important to you to become part of the Webeck West community? Was that community helpful in getting you to the place you are today?
So I've only been certified for a year now. So I'm a newly certified member. And now I'm starting to get a lot of DBE solicitations, where in my area, a lot of the really large companies are bidding on really big jobs, and they're requiring that certificate and the woman-owned small business certificate. And so that just opened an entire new world to me of work. And I have them reaching out to me now saying, hey, I have this requirement. Can you bid this job? Almost to the point where I can't keep up with it, because I am keeping my business somewhat small in the concrete excavation industry, because the equipment does a lot of the work. You don't have to have a huge crew. But now I'm starting, like, that's my next step for growth, would be to take advantage of some of those solicitations that are coming to me and say, yeah, here's my woman-owned business certificate, and I'm going to go ahead and start bidding some of that work. And that puts you in a whole nother level of work. And that, I feel really blessed that I was certified through you guys. And I definitely plan on getting the work with the certifications that I've done. And it's nice. I love seeing the emails come through from y'all, and just knowing that there's a community of women out there that are doing the same thing. And knowing that you have a community of women that you can reach out to that will have your back. And I am really excited about that. And I'm starting to see some of the events coming up, and I'm really excited to attend some of them and just find my network of people that aren't just all males, because right now it's all males.
Yeah. So
there's nothing wrong with that, but I'd like to find my tribe.
Well, they're definitely a part of Webeck West. What can we be doing for you? What do you need more of? Do you need more connections? Do you want to know more women in construction just to hang out with and chat? Or do you want more clients? Do you need more workers? How can we help you?
I think it would be really cool to meet other women in construction, to kind of, just share your war stories with, and just connect with, and maybe even collaborate with, kind of all of the above. I'm always looking for new avenues for work. I really want to start doing some mentorship, whether that's, I can get some guidance from Webeck West on mentoring high school students. I know that I talked to one of the high school programs a couple years ago about coming in and doing exactly what we talked about saying, hey, there's this opportunity for you all out there that you may not know is there, and you may not have even considered it. But there's a whole big world out here that us as women can also play in the field. And if there were some mentorship for me to be able to mentor others through Webeck, that would be awesome.
So if somebody wants to learn more and connect with you, what's the website? What's the best way to get in touch?
The best way to get in touch with me is probably the email, or my cell phone. My email is smiller at timberline-ent.com, or 775-720-1622. And I'm open to taking any questions or, about how to get into the business or whatever anybody might need, or however I can help anybody as well. Please call me, email me, text me, and I'd like to be there.
Now, is the website timberline-ent.com?
My website is under construction right now. I'm revamping it because I had the same website for quite a while, and now that we're no longer doing landscaping, I'm having it redone.
All right. So connect through email or call you.
Yeah. That would be great.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing such important work, and we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys.
All right. This is Lee Kantor. We'll see you all next time on Women in Motion.